So, in very simple short words, Efe Keyz is an Afro singer. Afro singer because it's a blend of pop and a little bit of Afro in there. So let's just say I'm just the, usual singer, but then with a touch of Afro.
Okay.
Yeah, in everything that I do.
Now, you started off, I think a lot of Ghanaians got to experience you or met you for the first time through xylophone.
Yes.
Right? And it hasn't been in existence for a while. How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me sad that they had a very big dream, but then due to, obvious reasons, the company couldn't hold up. I won't say it's the fault of the management. Of course, there are a lot of politics in there that I can go into, but I feel like it should have been an independent company on its own. Had it not been so like Robin kind of kissing Men's Gold all the time, xylophone could have stood on its own, but because it depended on Men's Gold, that's why when Men's Gold went down, xylophone also went along with it. So it makes me sad because there was a bigger dream. I mean, I remember my former manager, and I could when he's talking about xylophone, you can see the passion, you can see the dream in his eyes. So he made me even go and join xylophone. To be honest, he was the person who made me join xylophone, and for me, for he to die, it looked like xylophone had died for me as well too when he died.
Let's just I don't want to delve into that sad part of your career or your life, but let's just talk a little bit about it. I'm saying this because there were stories that came out that suggested that you went on that break or on that hiatus because he died. Is there any truth to that?
No. Well, funny enough, when he died, people have their own way of dealing with grief. For me, it was to continuously work. I was in denial for a very long time, so I remember I could continuously play shows. I just wanted to fill that space that he had left by working so hard so that I don't think about it. So I worked very hard. It was not him. It was the death, the end of xylophone, and of course Corona coming. You see, one label ended. I needed another team. Doing things by yourself, you can go fast, but you can go far. Of course, when it comes to finances and a lot of, So I would say it's not just the death of, Really Roy that made me pause. Even though I feel like if he had not died, perhaps I would have been in a bigger space now. But I'm the type who believe in everything happens for a reason. Okay. Maybe if he was still alive, I still wouldn't have been dead. So everything happens for a reason.
Okay. Now, if you would want to describe your music journey so far, how difficult or easy has it been for you?
It's been difficult. I would say I was lucky to have met Willie Roy because he blocked a lot of things that would have been thrown at me if you come into the industry. He was that protective kind of person. So I was lucky to have him. But after he left, things were very hard because first of all, I would say he was the backbone of my music. With him gone, there was nobody at xylophone who could do what he was doing for us. That's the honest truth. There's nobody who could do what he was doing for us. He was a person who was pushing the music, sometimes even investing his own money. And I don't think anybody loved us that much to do what he was doing for us. You could hear him all the time, arguing on radio and stuff, trying to put us in a better place. So with his death, I would say that things was difficult because now he left me open to the public. Everybody's just throwing stones at you. Those who hated him hate you. Then those who love you cannot shield you because they don't have the same vision as he had. Right. So I would say that after his death, it was difficult for me. Yeah.
I also want to. I think this will be probably one of my last questions with you tying it to xylophone. What would you say the deal was? Like, you did mention that he believed in the idea. You could see it in his eyes. That's how come you came on board. But what was your deal with them? Were they, helping you produce your music, or they were like an entire record label for you? What was it with them for you?
Okay, so I went into xylophone as a development artist. You see, they had bigger artists that they were focusing on, and then they were raising us, I would say. They were raising us to be the next big things in Ghana. So we went under more of a development contract with the Xylophone Arts Club. You see, so they had the arts club that was in charge of all these new talents. So we did not have the same deals and like.
So what did that entail? Like, how long were you going to be with them for and stuff like that?
So I think in a period of like less than a year. We were able to bring out our music. I mean, first of all, we had to go through a series of classes, and after that, we had to submit our album. So per the submission, they listen and then they pick the best 3 that they wanted to put out. And so we had 2 guys and myself, 3 people who came out in the first, and then they were trying to push us. Yeah, but I would say most of the work fell on Willie Roy. Without him, we wouldn't have worked. That's the truth, because even though they had a dream, the person who was supposed to act it, the person who was supposed to execute it, we had the modeling, we had the acting, but if you check all of that, you realize that really Roy was handling music, and he did amazingly well, because to be honest, he's the one whose name is out more when it comes to Xylophone Arts Club. We are the ones who were doing better.
Now let's talk about the fact that you're back into the space.
And strong.
And strong. Let's add in strong. How has the reception been? Because you've been off for how many years were you off for?
Well, actually, I was releasing, but I was not putting in the same energy in pushing like I am doing for this one.
Why do you think that is?
First of all, it's finances and its team. I was doing it alone. I released 2 songs by myself alone, and the last song I released, I think. It was during Corona, so you can imagine finances were really, really hard to come by, and then we had to also, most people just thinking about themselves and not shows and stuff, so I couldn't get opportunity to go out and do more promotion.
Right now you're out with a new track?
Yeah, this one is under a new record label. By God's grace, it's been a while, but then I'm glad to have met my new record label. They have similarities to Willie Roy's style. That's what makes me love them, because I've been approached by others before, and my answer has always been no, because it's not just about the input, it's about the vision. You want to see where they're going, and then you go along with them.
Would you mind sharing that because it's in line with your brand, right?
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what the vision is for your brand that made you,
so when I see Efe Keyz, I'm looking at this international art. When I sing, I mean, I'm not bragging, but then my voice.
You need to brag on yourself, girl. Brag.
I'm not bragging, but then everyone who hears me sing can see that, okay, people don't even think I'm Ghanaian. That's the truth. So I feel like, okay, I'm not trying to make myself chinchina Ghanaian. I mean, let me be that star as an African, let me say a worldwide star. So I see myself as that artist who can go global faster because of my style of singing, the way I sing, and the branding as well too. So most people who approach me want you to be that big girl in Ghana, that and even the kind of songs they give you. Most record labels, almost about 3 record labels that approach me, has a song that they want you to do, and it's a good song, but it's just not me, you see. But this record label tells you, go to the studio, let's listen, and then they take the best one. That's what makes me love them.
So what record label is it, and what's the arrangement with them?
Yes, so this is PIS Entertainment. It's a new record label, but so far they've been doing amazing. I mean, if I tell you that I'm in my 3rd month of signing with them, you will not believe it. That's how quick they work. Like, they work very fast, and that's the kind of person I am. I don't like to waste time. So people have wasted my time enough. These people, PIS Entertainment, the CEO is Mr. Paul Ado, and he's doing amazing. And I think, there are more talent on board that he's also going to put out. There's Kwame Sugar, he's been there for a while. And then there's a new High Life guy, David Ba. So there are more talents that he's willing to, with the support of the media as well too. He can definitely do something for the industry.
Now, this question has been asked a couple of times, or a number of times. Now, this is me interacting with you in a while. Yeah, I want to find out. There's this story or this angle that's always being peddled, that is hard managing female artists. You are a female artist. What's your reaction to comments like that?
Well, I will not say it's hard. There's definitely a big difference between a male and a female. I don't want to say what men can do, women can do better. And of course, I'm not also trying to say that because we are females, we should also be somehow pardoned for some things that we do. There's so many things when it comes to managing a female artist. My boss always tells me, why do I have to spend so much? He tells me he spends so much on me compared to the guys. And it's true. You know how ladies are. We like our things, you know. So if you're not the kind of person who understands women, you think, yeah, you know, for a guy, I just bought this, I bought, but for a lady, I'm buying this and this and this. So you have to be the kind who understands a woman in order to manage a woman. It's not hard. It's just a perception or something that we put into our head, because most of the time people want to be like your heart is where your mind is. So if you're female and you're not dating the boss or you're not dating the manager, it means that you'll be spending time. But it depends on the maturity of the person. You see, I keep saying everything. You don't just sign talent, you also sign a person. The person, you have to know if the person is a good person to work with, because it's business after all. So the talent, yes, there's so many talents who are not making it anywhere because of their attitude. So you have to check all that. There are people like me, I'm a hard worker. It doesn't matter whether I'm a man or woman, I want to work hard. So you have to check all that, and then you might not find yourself saying that women are hard to work with.
Okay, so you believe that they just need to change their perception when it comes
They
to
need to change the
women artists.
perception and also look beyond talent.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, talent is good, but let's be honest, some of the best people, musicians, there are others who are more talented than them, but it also takes attitude as well too.
Right.
Before you say a person is difficult to work with, put the talent aside and talk about the person. Men are also difficult to work with, so they shouldn't just give that
So there have
perception.
been times where people have always mentioned that anytime you know, concerts happen and, you know, bigger stages are mounted, they find more men in the industry get more like get called up more than the women. What do you think the ladies are not doing right, for want of a better expression, to get them to match up with the guys? Do you think there's anything like that?
Well, I think it's a matter of numbers, if you ask me. Because right now, if you compare the number of male artists who are top to the female artists, it's like it's very low. So there are more talent out there. I think recently I saw Kwame Dazi putting up a lot of talent out there. There are talent out there who can match up to them, and it's just a matter of numbers. If the women are many, we'll find some who can also be on the same stage with the men. So it's not about they're not calling the women, they're just not there, they're not enough. Yeah, so maybe 5 men is two women. Yeah, it's just the numbers. It's not a matter of talent or anything.
Right. What do you think, as a female artist, is one of your you know, the biggest challenges that female artists face in the country or in the industry?
Well, it's still about the perception. Everybody, we've already thrown this perception out there that women are hard to work with, women are this, that. So everybody thinks that way even before they meet you. Yeah, they already think that way before they meet you. Female artists are unserious, they don't see you as business, they think you're just trying to get famous, so you're just wasting your time. So if we can change the perception, okay, this is business. I mean, nobody wakes up and decides to just go round life not to make anything. So I just feel like we need to change our perception first, and then we can find a better way forward.
Okay. Now, before I get to your song, that's the reason you're here in the first place. Let's also get your take on this. What are some of the things you've been listening to aside your music? Albums or, you know, tracks from anyone you're listening to lately?
I do more of tracks. Cause yeah, I do
than
more.
albums.
Than albums. Yeah. I think I am more into the, I won't say unknown, but I'm more into people who are not like out there a lot. I listened to I was on ETV yesterday and I put up a track list of 10 female artists who are not mostly listened to but have good songs. I was singing word to word of their song, and you know, that's how much, you know, I like the I just feel like there's a lot of talent who perhaps are not heard, and they are the ones who are, for me, better than the ones who are being held right now.
So for update's sake and for keeping up with you's sake, how many songs do you have to your credit?
4, 5, yeah, 5, yeah, 5.
4, 5, 5. We're sticking to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God.
5.
Okay.
5.
Now let's talk about this new one. Tell us the title and the story. I usually like to know the story behind the songs.
I don't want you to cry.
Oh my God.
Are you ready?
My tissue ready?
Please, you need a tissue. You need tissue because
it's me a newspaper.
It's an emotional story. It's an emotional story. So this centers on a friend who has been in a relationship for about 6 years with a guy, and she's waiting for the question to be popped. I mean, and everything has been fine. They've not had issues, but then it feels like suddenly there's a distance between them. Like the guy's pulling away. He won't say let's break up. He won't tell you if there's another woman. He's just not there as before.
In limbo.
Exactly, just leaving you thinking, and every time you're thinking that if he's not with you, he's with someone else. And I think it happens in a lot of people's relationship, where at the point in time you start to realize that your instinct is telling you that there might be somebody. You've not seen any evidence. You just feel that there's something going on that he's not telling. So that's the story for this. Yeah, and there's a part that I like a lot. The second part, it goes like
You know what? Before you tell this, let's just play the song so then our listener can have a fair idea what we're talking about. Okay. But the title again, though.
This Love by Efe
This
Keyz.
Love. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Please don't go. I can't lose you. At the end of the day, you will not hear all of the song here. Thank you very much. You need to go and stream it and help make some numbers. But let's just before I find out, what your final words will be to our listeners, have you ever thought, with all the challenges that you mentioned earlier, have you ever thought of quitting the music space?
No.
You've been that resilient.
Yes, because I have this crazy hope. I don't know where it comes from, but there's been times I've been depressed, I've been desperate, and wondering if this dream will ever materialize. You know, my dad told me one thing before I started music. He said, you know, when it comes to music, you have about 100 people going or starting off, and have about 10 making it. Are you sure you're going to be part of the 10?
Right.
So that's what is always in my mind. So I have this crazy hope, like, okay, I have to be part of the 10. I have to be part of the 10. So no.
Your final words to your fans out there.
Well, I just want to say thanks to all my fans for supporting me so far. Like, coming back, the reception is like I never really been gone. It feels good to know that the name is still ringing in people's ears. Thank you so much. Keep streaming the song. You can find it on all streaming sites, iTunes, Spotify, Facebook, TikTok. My social media handles at Efe Keyz on TikTok and Twitter, and Efe Keyz Africa on Facebook. The video is also out on YouTube, Efe Keyz Official. So you just type in the name Efe Keyz and you're going to find me.
Okay, thank you so much for passing through, and wishing you the best.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for being a part of Urban Blend today. Mawena is on standby to bring you the news.